Has Janet Yellen come forward and shown you as a business person any cent of math?
No, she's over there with smoke and mirrors. Seriously, it's such a joke. And let's be real. Guess what? This is something that every taxpayer knows. This government here, they take in money every single day,
There's
Steve.
plenty of cash.
Oh, there's plenty of cash. It comes flooding in every day. And what do they do over there at the Treasury? They just keep printing more money.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and Marge the Trainwreck Greene stuck her three-toed foot in her mouth on Steve Bannon's War Room recently. The Georgia Sasquatch appeared as a guest on slimy Steve Bannon's conspiracy-based program, and she went full throttle on a trip to Crazy Town.
Are there enough hard-headed business people that say, hey, we need to see what's really going on here before we rush and do anything big? They keep saying 1 June. Show us your work.
Well, here's what's happening in our conference. We're not sweating this at all. No one is freaking out. No one is concerned about this mystery date that Janet Yellen has thrown out like it's going to actually crash America. The only people worked up about the mystery date is probably the New York Stock Exchange.
Bannon and Greene aim to minimize the upcoming debt ceiling deadline warnings from Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Slimy Steve wanted to know if any hard-headed Republicans had verified the warnings, implying that Secretary Yellen is inaccurate. Marge claimed that regular Americans don't worry about government shutting down. What would likely happen if we go in default? The stock market would crash. Federal workers would be furloughed. Let's not forget that Social Security checks wouldn't be on time. And that prospect alone should be absolutely frightening. Marge doesn't know what it's like to be a regular American, though. She just paid over $100,000 for a used tube of Kevin McCarthy's chapstick. She has no clue what it's like to go to bed hungry or what it's like to be short on rent.
Regular Americans living their lives day in and day out don't worry about the government shutting down.
And the oligarchs that run Wall Street are playing this. They're the ones all over McCarthy and his team. They're the ones on media all the time, and it's all phony. I keep saying these hedge fund guys up on Wall Street, they don't do anything. They look at the math. I keep asking them, I said, have you seen a set of numbers from Treasury? And they go, well. I said, well, then what are we talking about? The Politico had the story that in Treasury, the worker bees have already worked out a program of prioritization of payments. Cash comes in. We're not going to default. It'd be like you defaulting on a bank loan.
We're not going to default.
Slimy Steve asked the Georgia Swamp Monster if the Treasury Secretary was able to back up the warnings with, of all things, math. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen knows more about math than these mangy jackaloons would ever hope to. For these two to misrepresent the facts to viewers is absolutely despicable.
May some Department of Labor or Department of Education contractors or Raytheon contractors get their check 3 days late or 4 days late between now and the 15th? Hey, I don't know, but that's a managed process. That's not defaulting on the full faith and credit of the United States, is it?
Absolutely. Well, I don't work for the military-industrial complex anyways, so it's okay with me if they don't get their checks for more war in Ukraine.
Marge said that the Republicans in Congress are not freaking out about Janet Yellen's smoke and mirrors. It's smoke and mirrors, you jackaloon. She said that no one is concerned about this mystery date that Janet Yellen has thrown out, like it's going to actually crash America. Marge is absolutely clueless, folks. She's told Bannon that the only people worked up about this mystery date is probably the New York Stock Exchange. She tried to paint the picture that everyday Americans have their heads in the sand or are looking the other way and don't really care about the Republicans throwing the economy into chaos. Marge and Bannon are the bottom of the barrel, and that is absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.